What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I first want to apologize for this false alarm live stream. Um, I set my keyboard up in such a way that I could hit something and accidentally go live. After the Prince and I did the interview the other day, we were both joking about how I ended it. Because, when I end a video, I'll say this is Jedi, or I'll see you soon, or something like that. And then it ends. But with that, I have to open up the software and hit the stop button on it and all that. We're like, that is so anticlimactic, like we can't. So I was like, yeah, man, you're right. So, I did some things and da 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 da. Anyway, somehow and my keyboard is usually in bed with me along with my mouse. So I hit something, and that's how that stream started. And I was horrified when I realized it was streaming. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I was working on a video for you that is I'll say it this way, that I hope for those of you whose soul is not completely dead, who still have some life in the soul. You see, because you can be walking around animated and jumping and running marathons and all that. That doesn't mean your soul is alive. Your soul can still be dead. And alas, I diagnose that as a problem for many of our people. This is why our character and our behavior is what it is in so many sectors of our culture and indeed the society. And that makes me sick. So I pray Allah that for those of you who still have a heartbeat in your soul, that video will be something of profound impression upon you. The contrast that I'm bringing, the warning, the reminder. But somewhere along the way, I ran into this, and I'm astonished, sickened, appalled, and disgusted that I didn't know anything about it. I know this brother. This is an Islamic scholar and an Imam, Brother Abu Taubah. And I was not aware that he was somehow even being snarled up into that Orlando gay nightclub shooting and all that stuff. In fact, it was the header of that, because it must have been off to the right of something else I was doing. It was probably a video that I'm including in the video that I'm telling you about that I'm working on. And I saw his face and this title, Uncut Imam Linked Orlando Guy. Like, what? So I had to watch it. And I'm interrupting everything that I'm doing to tell you, you got to go watch it. You must watch this. Especially my brothers. And I'm also allowing this as a part of my curriculum on the channel because by proxy it is still under my theme of Islam and religion. It's right in the wheelhouse of that. And it doesn't cause me to stray from that path, But why it's important for everybody, but particularly my brothers, is because, and I don't even know how old my brother is. I think he's a warlock. Because I think he's older than, just something I saw on him a long time ago or something. I don't know, whatever. But the brother is sharp. And without being or trying to be impressive, he's sitting up, he's up there with his lawyer. He's being interviewed by this man. There he is. He's being interviewed by this man, and he is questionizing my brother. But two things I was struck by with this thing here. First of all, as Allah has said to us in the Quran, women will be as men and men will be as women. She is a man. This is your Greta Van Susteren, huh? From the Fixed News Channel. And what I was struck by is not only how well my brother handled himself. His lawyer never had to come in practically until she asked him a direct question. You didn't even remember that the lawyer was even sitting there. Was how well he was able to field her questions, but he was able to drop several grenades on her ass that she could not get, and she just had to stumble. Well, I'll just go to something else then. You see, this is also a revelation of how, if you watch it in the proper context, if your mind is clear, you will see that she's also seduced by my brother. Just his presence, his charisma. He's handsome, but his overall presence, you could tell she was deeply charmed by. Because I've watched her ass in action many times, because you have to watch The Enemy. You have to. And I know how she gets and has gotten. Excuse me, hold up. I'm having a real issue too today, you guys. Like this on my right side, that upper tooth is scraping the fuck out of my cheek. And now I've had to put some more gauze back there because I was literally biting the swelling that has, it's just, I'm over it. Alright, send your check to the Jedi's Tooth, P.O. Box, the Jedi's Tooth, 000 dot the Jedi's Tooth. Alright, need to get that out there. So I'm saying, get them it. But I know how she gets. And certainly had there been like a Sean Hannity sitting there, they've decided how the conversation is going to go, and it's just going to go that way. And then it gets very argumentative. Well, it didn't, because he was so disarming. But his knowledge was also his weapon. And his assessment of the various questions that she threw at him was enlightening, educational, and I thought he handled them very well, you know. And then at one point she's just dancing all over the place, just, you know, because she can't get anything to stick. But you're dealing with a Muslim. This brother is fluent and teaches Arabic. I know his whole story. I know his childhood. I know everything about him. You see, this brother is a solid slab of granite with a bulletproof shield on it, on top of that. You understand? Most impressive. Most impressive. And even when she gets around to asking him about 9/11, you know, he's forthright. You know, and he goes into some history about our brother, Osama bin Laden. And suddenly well, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. When he talks about how one of Osama's family members was actually killed on Bush's ranch in like some kind of an airplane accident. Huh? She's a Fox News whore, and she doesn't know anything about that. They're in bed with Bush, and she doesn't know anything about that. And then when he raises the fact that all of these alleged 19 hijackers, he said I did some research, and some of those people are still alive, and it's been proven, which I know that, and I showed you guys that in my exquisite award-winning 9/11 video that I've got 3 Emmys for, plus a Golden Globe. I've got 6 NAACP awards, an Image Award, and there's some other things coming that I can't get into, and there may be a Nobel Prize as well, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. All right, focus on this. All right, settle down. All right, now, so, and he contrasts how we went to Iraq when all of the hijackers were Saudis. So, like, what are you saying, man-ass bitch? My words, not his. All right. But I also want you to be aware, to let your senses explore how just her presence, her look, and everything is nothing but deception. Even when she's being lighthearted and faking honesty even, and kindness, but he has put her in that place. You see, this is the ruh of Allah that is in that room. My brother is the shining star, and he has every weapon and protection that he needs. And I want you to see it in that vein too, because most of the time when you see any of these stuff, it's always some Christian ass black pastor, the worst thing that ever lived and walked on the earth. I said it. It's their ass up there, stopping and stuttering, incoherent, uncogent, unintellectual, not smart. I can't. So it's an opportunity for you to see a Muslim in action in that environment. He never gives away his principles and his conviction. He's fair, but only to the truth, not to her. He's fair to the truth. And he's quick to point out hypocrisies and double standards. What I also love is he possesses something that I wish I had and I'm not going to ever have. He has a certain level of control where I am a fire breather. Burn you. Burn you. You see? I can't turn off my jet. You in my line of sight, got that. You see? So this is something that I ask Allah for. You know? But on the other hand, I am aware of the yin and the yang in life. And for every force, there's a counter force. So for every brother like that, there's me. You see? You don't need to breathe the fire. God damn it, I will. That's what I'm saying. Burn every goddamn thing. So, I need you to watch this. It's a 58-minute interview. It's uninterrupted. There's no commercials. There's nothing going on. And I want you to form your own impression and reaction to not just the interview, but I also want you to be hearing the information that is by default coming up out of this. I'm so impressed with this that I'm taking the time to come now and say, you got to go watch this. You got to go watch this. You know, and this brother is from New York. He's naturally loud. I love that. Although he was able to kind of, mute it a little bit in this interview, but I know him, so I've seen him in action. Like that New York just comes out. It's just there, But let this be an example to my brothers. When I talk about being a man, and I've said to you, your anatomy is like the last thing on the list. It's like, oh yeah, and that's just a verification that, okay, we can, once you've gained all the other shit, okay, you have the requisite, now let's see, do you have the anatomy? Alright, we seen it. Alright, you're a man now. You see, it's not just you get a certain age and your voice turns and you get a little hair on you and then all of a sudden you're a man. There's too much of that out there. I told you, the number of men that we have amongst our culture is something you have to find. You're almost better off and have more luck finding a four-leaf clover, three of them in a row, than finding a man amongst African people in this nation. I believe that, and I stand next to that statement. For it is the truth, and it is based on wisdom and observation and assessment. It's not a random remark. Know that. So my brothers need to see how this man handles himself. He is grace under fire as well, without being emotional. That's the word I wanted to use earlier. Emotional. Emotional. And I'm just inspired to share this with you. So go and watch it in its total. It's one of them interviews that when it's done, you're like, oh no, more. You're not ready for it to even be over. You just like, damn it. But the premise of it was obviously this Orlando shooting that went on, in the gay club, and the information that he is putting out and what he knows about the dude, because they were trying to say that this dude that shot up the club was one of his students and that they trained him, and he was like, we don't even know this dude, like we never met him, we never had any contact with him, it's proven, it is known, and set your ass down and go back to the Fox fucking News where you came from, you lopsided face ass melting witch from the Wizard of Oz ass man ass bitch. I cracked my own self up. Oh my god. I can't. Anyway, go and watch this video, everybody. Be enriched by it, and as I say for my brothers, watch and learn what it is to be a man. This is the Jedi.